life is to help the non-tech savvy self-employed to overcome their overwhelm with online marketing. And so I do that through several programs, and I have clients that I've worked with that I'm bringing on to talk with you about what they do and maybe how I helped them. And in this series, I'll also come on and start answering some of your questions as you come around. So I am thrilled today to introduce one of my favorite people in the world, Traci Adams. She is with Key Lending Solutions. And Traci comes to us. We're down in Louisiana, for those of you who don't know. Traci actually came down from Tennessee. So she is she doesn't cheer for the same team many weekends that I do. Maybe unless LSU is playing Auburn or or whatnot, or when Tennessee is playing one of those teams in red from the Alabama State, I'll cheer for Tennessee really hard then. But so she is with Key Lending Solutions. She is a volunteer with Rotary. She is actually the chapter president of the ABWA, our La Capitale chapter here. She is the president of her BNI chapter. And I think, did you just finish your presidency of your Rotary chapter? Is that right?
No, I'm a chairperson for the new generation, which exposes the high schoolers to service above self and Rotary's mission.
Okay, so Traci is very busy, but she also does so many things very well on her business side. And so I wanted to bring her on and have her tell a little bit about what she does, who she is, and I'm sure she can give a much better introduction of that. So Traci, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Introduce yourself for me.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Ellen. I am a transplant, but I do cheer for LSU. It was baseball related, I'm sure. And I'm with Key Lending Solutions. We're a residential mortgage lender. We service the entire state of Louisiana for home or residential loans. We have a variety of services, anywhere from a first-time home buyer loan to an empty nester that's sending that child off to college and they realize they have too much house. We can help them with the downsize on the financing as well. Many loan programs, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go.
So yes, I want to make sure that you tell everybody. I know I was watching a couple of days ago, and you actually tested all of your friends and said, all your Facebook friends, and said, "What exactly do I do?" And it was fun to kind of read the comments, those that were serious, especially that most of them got it right on target. A few of them were in the ballpark, at least. So
that's
you
great.
did very well.
I've been in the real estate business, mortgage and title, for 22 years. Started out in loan servicing, dealing with escrows. If you're not familiar with that, that's when they pull their insurance and taxes and pay that once a year when it becomes due. But I went a little further and analyzed those accounts, researched that things were paid on time, and made sure there was enough in the escrow account. And then around 2001, I decided to move to the legal side. I've been a notary since 2001, and I got into the title business, started doing real estate closings. I've probably closed between 500 and 900 loans, mortgages, and purchase transactions during my time. Love doing it. Love getting down, rolling my sleeves up and researching the transfer of title and make sure everything was done properly. I have been blessed to have tremendous attorneys and mentors throughout my time. And about 2013, I had an opportunity to come back into lending. I was at a point in my life where I wanted to do something a little bit new. So actually, I found myself back in mortgage. I decided that, my passion was to help people, to give back and kind of educate them along the way. And the way to do that was to get back into lending and just focus on home loans. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I have a unique perspective, being a notary that had 10 years of title experience, and also being on the servicing side, the back end. McDonald's, you kind of learn the fry station before you go to the grill, before you go to the cash register. My path to mortgages was very similar to that. And I think it brings a unique perspective for me to be able to service my clients because I've been there. I've seen what happens after the loan's closed.
I have been to several of your presentations and heard people give you testimonials, and they aren't just one of those that people stand up and say, yeah, I worked with Traci, she's really good, and they sit back down. They're all able to give specific examples of how they were always able to get in touch with you. That, even on Saturday when the realtor had an open house, she texted you and you got back to her then when she had her client in front of her. They didn't have to wait until Monday morning to get the call when other people were, saying not right now. So I've just been so impressed with how well that you handle everything that you do and with the testimonials that people give you. Because like I said, it's not just a stand up and work with Traci, she's good, sit back down. They always give specific examples of how well you know your business and how well you have helped them to look good. So that's what we all want.
I appreciate that. One of my, and I don't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry. One of my best testimonials was a real estate agent that I've worked with for many years. And she said the one word that describes me is accessible. And most people have the same, schedule. They work 9 to 5. They have kids in school. They have gym meets and baseball and football and dance and things like that they've got to take care of. So, they're looking at 9 o'clock at night. They're looking on the weekend for home. And they need it convenient. So a lot of times I'll meet clients outside of the office. I have a friend that's a teacher, and I met her during her planning period. So you just have to make yourself accessible for the client's needs. And I appreciated that coming from the agent that I dealt with. I can usually get her what she needs, within an hour or so, unless I'm, driving, of course. But just convenience.
Yeah, don't text and drive and take that next step further. Don't research what the question and drive.
Right.
So as we go through today, y'all please feel free to type in questions, especially while we're on the live broadcast. Traci and I are both very willing to try and answer your question if we know the answer to it, or we'll get back with you. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast, thank you so much for watching, but still ask questions. I get notified when there are questions on these videos, and so I try and get back to every single one and respond to them. So do post your questions, and we will do our best to make sure that we catch them and get them answered as we go through. So, Traci, do you have like a niche client that you really enjoy working with that is those that you feel like you can identify with the best?
Well, I am the daughter of a Vietnam vet and Air Force veteran. And so one of my favorite clients to deal with is veterans. It gives me a chance to give back. Also with builders in the area, we're building communities. With everything that happened in 2016, people are either rebuilding, relocating, or moving into the area. And it just gives me an opportunity to give back from, where I live. And another type of client that I like to deal with are lifetime renters and millennials, the 18 to 34 age. A lot of them either don't think they can get a loan because of student loans. That's not necessarily the case. And then lifetime renters, they don't have a down payment. They felt like renting was the best option. Maybe it was because of their job. Maybe they were contract workers. But I have a flyer that I give to my sellers. And if you paid $1,200 a month on a 30-year, for 30 years, you would have made the sales price on the house would have been about $432,000. So there's a lot of rental opportunities out there now post-flood. And some of the rents are, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. You can own your home for several pennies on the dollar compared to what some of those are renting. So it's a great time to buy. There's a lot out there. But I try to dispel the myth that I can't afford it. Some of the younger generation, what do you mean I can't live with mom and dad the rest of my life? I mean, that'd be great, 3 hot meals a day and your laundry done, but realistically, you want to get out on your own. And some of them just don't have the tools or the resources to do it, and they don't know where to start, and that's where I come in.
Yeah, you can really help them to learn, that it is possible and that they can see life after mom and dad's house, which we all would. I know I was strongly encouraged to go look for an apartment after I finished grad school and was into my first job, and we felt like it was going to take. So I'm in there, maybe a little bit older, than they are now, but that isn't necessarily a new thing for people. So I love that you help the veterans. My dad is a Navy veteran, and I date an Air Force vet. So I don't know if you do that. I love being able to help the military as well. So a lot of what you do and you're trying to do in your business is to market it through social media. And since your client is probably one of the ones that are using social media the most, I'd like you to talk a little bit about your use of social media to help advertise your business.
I recently joined a group called Online Marketing GPS. I know the fabulous social media coach, Ellen McDowell. Seek her guidance and insight into things that I'm doing online. I had a social media presence. I had a LinkedIn profile. I have a Twitter profile, Google Plus profile, and of course Facebook. Staying away from the whole Snapchat thing, but eventually I'm sure I'll get into that. But anyway, I had a presence, but really needed to capitalize because of my niche market and wanting to connect to particularly millennials. They are shopping more online. They're all 79% of people that are on social media have a college degree. So, those are the types of things that I wanted to make sure I was getting the most out of it. There are a lot of free resources, and there's some that, you can pay for. So to navigate that, I felt like I needed a little bit of a leg up. So I joined the group. Immediately, Ellen and I sat down and talked about our LinkedIn page and tips and tricks of things that I could do to improve my LinkedIn profile. I've had 43 people in the last 90 days view my LinkedIn profile. So I immediately had turnaround after I was able to redo something as simple as the name underneath my picture. Instead of Traci Adams loan officer or Traci Adams home loan specialist, they're home loan mortgage people all over the world. But what sets me apart from those is the way that I process the information for a client. I ease their stress level, navigate them through the transaction. And that immediately stands out every time I share a post. We also change the location of some of the items in there. Your testimonials mean a great deal, just like you're redoing your resume. You don't want to put your hobbies on line 1, in front of your mission statement or your summary. So having a good summary, Ellen talked about doing call to action, which is tremendous, getting those people engaged. And then eventually when we got that set up, I went over and did a Facebook business page. It was the first time I was able to do that. And I got 115 likes in 3 days. So obviously we were doing something right. And I'm very, very excited. I think, I read a lot to stay current on my profession. So there are things that I like to share as far as down payment options, new loan programs. I don't expect you to come in and know every loan program that a first-time home buyer could get, and then we just pick one. I want to be able to present those options to you, and so I stay up on the information, but I always share that information with you. Just like the statistic on renting, paying $1,200 a month, you could buy a $400,000 house in 30 years after that's all said and done. So it's important to me to make sure that I'm finding a way, making it easy for people to connect.
Yeah, finding an easy way for people to research you, because they're doing their research online now. We had, World Books and the phone book, and that was probably about as far as we could go. To go to your local library, they might have had a book with a little more information, but we have the yellow pages on our phones, on our laptops that we can really research, and people are researching more. So making sure that they can find you, that was an important thing for me to help to make sure that you were coming across, and people were doing a search for a home lender, that Traci was one of the ones that they were going to find. If not the one on top, we'll get you there. So
working on that.
But to keep working. So thank you for the plug as well for the online marketing GPS, my OMG group. It is a fun group to do. And, as you know, LinkedIn is doing some changes. So all those things with LinkedIn, we may need to do another little tweak. It's not quite as big as I thought it was going to be, but there are a lot of changes to what you can do and how you can search for who you want to connect with online on LinkedIn. And so, let's see, I think the last thing was to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you.
The easiest way is to pick up your cellular device and my cell phone number. Yes, you can call. My cell phone number is 225-931-1304. If I don't answer, I'm probably on my office phone, but please leave me a message and I'll get back with you, the nature of your call. Direct office number is 225-293-6523. You can also chat with me through our website. It's www.traci.keylendingsolutions.com. My Facebook page, my business page is Louisiana Home Loan Solutions. Or LinkedIn. I've gotten a couple of customers that have reached out to me on LinkedIn, and that's Traci Adams, Home Loan Specialist. Check out my yp.com listing. I have several testimonials for past clients, and they have given a unique perspective of their needs and how I was able to help them. So multiple ways. It just depends on the way. Send me a tweet. There's several different options to get in touch with me. And again, I'll try to make it as convenient as possible for you, particularly those that are calling from work and they only have a certain amount of time. We'll figure out a way to reconnect, when you're available. So
they might can meet you out at the ballpark. The Dutchtown Griffiths are playing a lot this spring, and you'd be happy to meet them at any time that they are playing. That Ben is not actually throwing a pitch. You'll talk to them, right?
That's right. I tell people the only time I've declined or hit the red button on my phone is if I'm filming the batter. So but I did a pre-approval yesterday from the baseball field. Someone called me and said I'd already pre-approved them. They sent me the address, their offer price, and I was able to key it in and get it back to them. And I was basically in between innings. So again, accessibility. I try to make sure that I'm there. I do sleep sometimes, but I just kind of work that in. But happy to speak with anybody regarding the home loan process. I also work with agents. I provide them some financing flyers, the rent versus own option, different loan programs when they have a house listed. So I just don't deal on the buying side. I do on the seller side, and I'm heavily involved with for sale by owner clients, giving them the tools they need to have a successful listing and to get them pre-approved for their next home.
Yeah, and you just got a testimonial pop up on our comments here. Somebody named Debbie Strale says that you truly care about your clients.
That's my mom. I pay her well. No, I'm kidding. Hi, Mom.
So, yeah, I was trying to sneak it in there. You just let it out. That's your mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we only get 2 visitors on this video, it's going to be our moms, right?
That's right. That's right.
And my dad catches all my stuff. So, you got to love them. It is such a pleasure to talk to you about online marketing in your business, but I also want to give a plug for our American Business Women's Association. Can you tell me a little bit about the next meeting?
The next meeting is March the 8th, next week. I had to look at my calendar. Cami Miller is going to be coming in talking about networking up. Hi, Rayanne. Talking about networking the room and being able to follow up. We have a wonderful group of diverse occupations, ladies in the group. You can find mentors, You can serve on committees. The most rewarding committee that I was able to serve on was education and scholarships. We give a local scholarship out in the fall and in the spring to a candidate that reflects the values of women in business. And we actually had given that scholarship to a male at one point. So it's a great organization, and the local dues, are equal out to about $12 a month. And you have access to seminars and conferences and online modules just to make yourself better in business. It's a great organization. I've been involved with it since 2011.
Yeah, locally we are meeting the second Wednesday of every month, and our meeting place at the moment is Jubin's, and I don't foresee that changing, but because this video can last years in the thing, just look for the Baton Rouge ABWA chapter on a Google search if you're ever trying to figure out where we are and where our next meeting is. We also, both of us, participate in Women in Wine on Wednesdays. I know I get out there whenever I can. Another great networking group. So both of us feel like networking is an important part of our business, an important part of getting ourselves out there. Traci, why do you network?
For the wine? No, I'm kidding. No, I love to connect with all facets of women in the industry. Some that they don't even know where to start when it comes to networking. Maybe they're intimidated by a room full of professional women and not sure how to kind of navigate that. That's my giving back, my mentoring, my education piece that I like to do. And just really for the fun of it. We are all so busy in our professions, and, Women in Wine is just kind of a downtime. That's my fun event of the year, or the month rather, to sit down and connect with these folks. And not really talk about business all the time, but it ends up coming up. But it's just a casual, fun setting. And the great part about it is that it rotates around, and you can actually see different restaurants, different areas. That one time we had it in a clothing boutique. One time we had it at Lava Cantina. One time we had it at Jubin's. So you get to sample some of the great food around South Louisiana, and also connect with friends. And sometimes you see those friends once a month at Women in Wine, and sometimes you get to work with them much longer. So it's a lot of fun.
And I believe this month is at Lava Cantina again on the 15th, but that's the third Wednesday if you're locally here in Baton Rouge. But again, Google up a search for Women in Wine on Wednesday, and there are chapters throughout South Louisiana. And I'm sure you can contact them if you think that sounds like a good idea. Contact them and start a chapter in your local area, because it is one of my fun ones. Let's see. I can contest she's the hardest working woman you know. Yes, Ryan. Rayanne? Is it Rayanne? Rayanne. I'm sorry. I had to scroll down a little bit. So Traci is one of the hardest working people that I know. So, I'm going to give people one more chance to ask us any questions that they may want to know about the home loan lending process, networking, and or social media, since it is Chat with a Social Butterfly. And again, want to encourage you to contact Traci. She's going to put in all of her contact information in the comments when we finish this video, so they will be underneath the video. I'm sure she can link up some of those things. And if you want to connect with me, if you're not familiar with me and you want some help with social media, if you want to join my online marketing GPS community, that is ellenmcdowell.com/OMG. So if social media makes you feel OMG, then come on and see me. We'll help you alleviate that stress and start really posting with clarity and confidence to where you are online marketing like a pro. So let's see. I don't see any more questions coming across. It has been about 30 minutes, which is about how long I like for these to be. I think that is very doable for people to watch and to send. So thank you so much for joining us. Traci, one more time, what is that phone number that they can call you?
Cell phone is 225-931-1304, or direct to my office, which sends me an email, 225-293-6523. And I have a tagline I like to use. If you have a lending need, we have your solution. We're solution-based. We are local. We have big opportunities for all types of buyers. So if you're interested in selling a piece of property, either for sale by owner or with an agent, we'd love to talk to your agents. Or you're interested in just exploring the option of financing, I'd love to work with you.
So thank you so much for joining me today, Traci. I know that sometimes when you tell people, hey, I want you to be on video and then we're going to do it live, people will take a second to think, and you just said, okay, what date can we do it? So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so much and look forward to seeing you next week, if not sooner, at the ABWA meeting.
Bye,
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you.